Hello and namaste to all our viewers and welcome to our television show Samayojan. It is an education-based show from where we make you to learn about the current statistics of education and other fields as well. Today, after the massive earthquake that was held in Nepal in Baishakh 12 and 29, we have the members of the Art of Living. Hello, sir.
Thank you.
We have been hearing about the term Art of Living. Today, it's our privilege to know from you what is Art of Living.
There are various definitions, but the simplest one I feel is, taking life as it comes, moment by moment, and smiling through and going through it, with time. That's what.
This is 21st century and people are selfish. It is obvious as well. In this materialistic society, being selfish is obvious as well. Is it possible to take life as it comes, to give smile to whomever you meet, whatever they do? Is it possible?
Yeah, it is very much possible because the material aspects are, temporary in nature. The real success is determined by the smile on your face, the confidence with which you move in life. That is more important and has more long-term impact, not only for yourself, but also for the people with whom you are connected. So your vibration that you carry within has an impact on the people around you, and that is something that comes through the spiritual practices. It's the raising the spirit is what spirituality is all about. We have no control over time. We have no control over the situation that we are in. We certainly cannot multiply the resources from what they are. The only thing which is very well within our realm is to increase our energy level. And through the spiritual practices, that is what we attempt to do. You be selfish for the spiritual aspect. You give half an hour to of your time to yourself to take care of your mind during the day, then the rest of the 23.5 hours, the bigger powers will take care of you. So if you really want to be selfish on these aspects and give it the right priority and importance in your life, because that is something which really helps us grow by leaps and bounds, in a very, very different dimension.
One decides to love selflessly, to give whatever you have, to smile to the life, whatever it comes in your way. And when people take you for granted, how shall we tackle with this problem?
Well, you do your bit without any expectation in return, like the nature, you throw a bunch of seeds, so many are bound to come back, So, but having said that, if don't let people to fleece you and use your intelligence, which the God has also given us, and use your intellect and make sure that the contribution that you are making is going in the right direction, to the right agency, to the right people. So, especially if you look at in times like this, we have seen over more than 10-15 disasters, that sometimes the material relief that is shared doesn't really reach the right places. Even here in Nepal, we went to certain places where we were told, we have the material lying in that store, but we haven't been issued that material so far. So we've gone with material relief to people also. So we need to be aware of what is going on and make sure that whatever we are doing is going in the right channel.
With the motto of One World Family, how Art of Living has managed itself to be determined with its motto?
Well, Art of Living is a platform which, we have our presence in more than 52 countries today. The topmost country close to the North Pole and the southmost country close to the South Pole, our techniques are practiced by people. 70% of Mongolia is practicing Art of Living. We have presence in Nepal in a big way. More than 7,000-8,000 volunteers have been operational since day one of the earthquake here. We are a universal organization because the technique that we use is very universal. The technique of breath, So since breath is a universal aspect and breath is life itself, So using the breathing techniques which appeal to everyone, the mind can be settled. So we have teachers, faculty who are cross-cultural, who are from across religion. So we have Muslims who are teachers, we have Christians who are teachers, we have Hindus who are teachers, we have Japanese who are teachers, we have Mongolians who are teachers, name it, Chinese, Americans, Europeans. So it's from that aspect, it's a pretty much a universal kind of an organization and has a universal appeal for everyone, for all human beings. Art of Living primarily has been training people, de-stressing them through our programs, making them, building their capacity or inspiring them to do more and contribute back to the society. And also channelize their energies in social initiatives. So International Association for Human Values is also a sister organization of the Art of Living Foundation. Our prime objective is to engage communities through service initiatives, and once we bring them on board, we do train them before we put them on the projects. And so in a way both are complementary, but International Association for Human Values works with the corporate partners for supporting our relief activities, our projects. We just before the 25th, I was back home in India, in Bangalore. We were finishing a project on river rejuvenation, reviving dead rivers, Komodavati, through Hindustan Aeronauticals Limited, which has been one of the sponsors for the project. We just finished 85 structures and we handed over to the Gram Panchayats on 24th. And 25th we heard about this episode, and I got to start setting up the processes back home, how we can support the activities that are going on here. And then on 30th I arrived with Gurudev's, His Holiness Shri Ravi Shankar Ji's instructions that I need to be here. So just to oversee the operations, relief operations here. So IAHV has been operational since 1997, first registered with Geneva, and in 2000 in India. And its main objective is to ensure that we are taking up sustainable humanitarian projects, and we work in different focus areas, but under disaster almost all the focus areas the need comes up, be it women empowerment, houses, training programs, and our trauma relief activities are a major niche area that we have, So material relief is something which anyways comes, through in our experience over last 10-15 earth disasters. We have seen the material relief comes back at least 3 times, if not 9 times. But it is the relief of the mind, the solace to the soul, that is also much needed, because you get very shaken in this kind of a situation. So, and all our projects we actually implement through our sister organization, the Art of Living Foundation, because we have huge team of volunteers and teachers and participants who come forward to support those projects.
Talking about the massive earthquake that Nepal had went through, and still we are experiencing the aftershocks, how would you like to make sure about the aims and objectives of Art of Livings to the victims?
The earth moves, the body being part of the earth also moves, But more than the earth and the body's movement, it is the mind which shakes, The oscillation frequency of the mind is much more than the body. So, you get shaken. Even if you hear somebody say, it does something in your head. In fact, J.W. Thompson, I was having a meeting with them on 12th May when we were, when the second episode happened. And the whole place began to move. More than the place, it was the sensor which went off, which created a direct impact in the mind, and people started moving. And I just told them, I said, no need to panic, just breathe. As long as we are breathing in and we are breathing out, we are alive. So just breathe, long deep breaths in and just move to the middle wall and just be there. And after the whole thing was over, so we very slowly walked down, and on the street we found so many people crying and very impacted. So I just went personally, spoke to a few of them, settled them, gave us a little healing, talked them out of it, and also invited them to the session that we decided to hold right after. So the discussion got converted into a trauma relief session. And so we came back to the office. It was on the 3rd floor, and I suggested, now let's do the session. So the managing director looked at me, looked at his team, and they didn't seem very comfortable doing it in that place. So I said, it's okay, we can go down and do it if you are, that's the thing. So we came down and we tried to look for a place. We didn't find one, but eventually there was a Japanese meditation hall right next door. So we all went there and did a session. And it
was a successful session.
Yes, they immediately felt, and in fact that day I conducted 4 sessions, one at Salty and then 2 at other locations, in our own Art of Living centers in Bhavaneshwar and music school. Also there were a lot of people who had come in for shelter that day again, so personally conducted sessions for them as well, for our teams as well. Because at the end of the day, we are all human beings, and the techniques that we use are very simple because, managing the mind at the level of the mind is not feasible. You can have so much dialogue with the person, but you will not be able to understand much. The benefit comes through the breath. So with the thread of the breath, we are able to manage the mind. So when we breathe in, breath is moving in the present moment only. Mind is caught up either what happened in the past or what is going to happen next. Not only the 25th episode, the 12th episode, even much before that, somebody said something nice to us or somebody said something bad to us, we still carry on that impression in the mind, even though we have moved on, life has moved on. And what to come, what next to come, the rumors, especially the rumors are very, very detrimental. We tend to, in this kind of a weak moment, the mind tends to latch on to negativity anyways, but in a weak spot it tends to catch on to the negativity even more quickly. So with the help of the breath, we are able to bring the mind to the present moment. So just by paying attention to your breath, knowing that, oh, as long as I am breathing, I'm alive, and nothing has gone wrong, and being with that faith that there is a bigger force, there is a bigger power which is taking care of this whole universe, is also capable of taking care of my life. We are able to sail through that tough moment, and it's actually more important to have our faith intact in these times, in the trying times. When everything is normal, having faith may not give any result, but when the situation is not so good, that is the time when we need to hold on to, डूबते को तिनके का सहारा कहते हैं. So you have to hold on to that faith that, only the best will happen for me. And anyways, when the time comes, nobody can do anything. I have seen cases like, in Uttarakhand flood relief, I was there. DIG, CRPF, a friend of mine, so I was in Rishikesh, both of us were supposed to go to Kedarnath in a helicopter. Somehow his plan changed and he said, no, instead we are going, walking just to see what is the situation on ground, and I'm afraid cannot take you along. I said, okay, never mind, you go ahead. So morning I heard this news of the helicopter crash, and I was obviously concerned, so I called to find out how he is doing. His phone was ringing but no response, and I thought no news is good news. After about half an hour I get a call back from him and he says, I'm fine, but I have to tell you something. I said, go ahead, tell me. He says, I actually sat down in that helicopter and it was almost ready to take off. And there was this one gentleman who came running. He was in a bit of a hurry. He wanted to, he told me that, he's been here for 3-4 days and you just came yesterday, so if you don't mind, I would like to go and you please come on the next one. So I got down and he went. So, when the time comes, but at the same time, if your time is not yet there, nobody can take you also. So have that faith, and that In the worry of what is going to happen, we are dying every moment, like we breathe in, we are breathing in life, because breath is life. We breathe out, we are, in a way, that portion of life is over. Much like the spectrum analyzer, it goes, there's a sine wave you see, and vertical lines you see, these are the breaths, So we live each breath fully. Who knows the next breath is going to come or not come, And why bother? At least let me live. As long as you're living each breath fully, you'll be able to move on and make sure that, your life is much more happier, and you'll be able to face through any challenge with a smile. Having said that, doesn't mean whatever has happened is to be undermined, and people's do get affected, and that's why the importance of these practices.
8,000 plus people have already lost their lives. 20,000 plus people are physically victimized. Thousands of people lost their houses, their valuable things, their dear people, and we all Nepalese have lost our valuable historical monuments. In this case, how shall the trauma relief session make an impact on such victims?
We have seen more people dying out of heart attack, going to the hospital, breaking their bones because of the fear. So if we, in that situation, we just breathe in and breathe out, and just remember whoever you wish to remember, jisko bhi aap mante ho, whoever you have faith on, you can remember and chant a few mantras. It will help. And also you can just hold your pulse and keep breathing, keep your focus on the breath, and see how the pulse is moving at that point, or maybe how the heart chakra is moving at that point. You can touch either of the places and just let the palpitation normalize, with the breath, and you will see an immediate.
And how many sessions have you already completed till now? How many still to come?
Sessions that we conduct, we use a lot of dose of course, the breathing techniques we do meditation, but a lot of good dose of humor also we use. And we have seen within the first 5 minutes with the simple exercises that we do, yoga asanas that we do with them, the energy level begins to go up, and once they begin to smile and laugh at the situation, you can never go back to that depressed state of mind. You may go back a little, but you can never go back to that state from where you sprung up. So these are very simple, effective, and they seem to work like an intravenous shot in that given moment. And we have reached out to almost 25,000 people so far through our various teams. I have personally had an opportunity to conduct this for the strategic teams, the disaster management teams, the Home Ministry, the armed police, the airport, and we're working very closely with the army. Also, they're taking us to places where it's not easy to reach. So about 25,000 people so far through trauma relief. Material relief, so almost about 125 to 150,000 people we have reached out, because that's also important. Though trauma relief is more, long-lasting session, and we also tell them to practice these techniques on an ongoing basis henceforth. We are also now kind of the immediate relief activities are kind of getting tapered down, and we are in terms of evaluating what next. So maybe some temporary houses or adopting a village, or we are still forming up our plan on the mid-term and long-term rehabilitation. And once we have taken the decision, we'll come out with the details and we'll keep doing. With our organization, we have found the volunteers are so passionate. You don't have to tell them do this, do that. It just happens. Sometimes we have to. We find that the numbers that we have are not what we have actually delivered on the ground. They are much more delivered on the ground, because some of our teachers, volunteers, they are shy of even sharing the work, though we tell them that we must also share so that it inspires other people. But sometimes they do not even like to share the work that they have done. So a lot of teams are operational, and likewise we have seen a lot of other NGOs, and everybody is coming together, from various countries. And we have been interacting with various other organizations also and working with them. Like SOS, we've done workshop for their kids at a couple of places. Tundi Khel we did at Chautara Army Base. Also we did a workshop for the children. We approached the UNICEF also. The day I read an article in Himalayan Times saying that UNICEF feels that kids are really impacted emotionally by this twice episode. So that very day I gave a call to the local Rupa Joshi who is heading it, and I requested her to take us where their kids are, and we'll be more than happy to conduct these workshops for them. That's what we've been doing, and we really hope things settle down fast. And in our experience, the material aspect comes back at least 3 times. Actually, it is up to 9 times, because everybody wants to contribute, everybody wants to do something. And I jokingly at times I say that if this sense of contribution and sharing gets triggered only in a calamity, if we keep it even in normal situation, the whole world will be a much better place to be. So we don't really have to wait for a calamity to do something good and contribute back towards the society. If you start worrying, mera kya hoga, what will happen to me, what will happen to me, what will happen to me, 5 minutes you will go 50 feet under the ground. So you can, it's a very easy mantra to get depressed. And the antidote is to get up and do something, give back something to the society. So apna dukh bhul ke aap kisi ka help karenge. If you forget your own worry and you start helping somebody else, immediately it will give you energy back. And we have seen that happening also. People do that, but still, despite that, sometimes when we are shaken, we forget that aspect also. So that is what I think we need to practice more, and that will be helpful in this given situation.
Well, it was nice talking to you. Thank you so much for being here with us. Thank you so much for sharing your views with us.
Thank you.
Today we had the members of the Art of Living who are working here in Nepal with the trauma relief session for the victims of the massive earthquake. I would like to request you all to be safe and to be with your loved ones. Do not go after any hallucinations, any other rumors that will make you victimized. Thank you so much for being here with us for today. We will get back with our next show in the same time, same day. Thank you so much. Till now, I am Priyanka Bhandari signing off for today with my team. Namaste.